making headlines. The President appoints Abbas Sharif as the Prosecutor General. The government affirms that individuals in independent institutions will have the authority to perform their duties with professionalism. And the State Minister of the Homeland Ministry says that the World Bank assists Maldives in upgrading NCIT in advancing EFAS ID. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to PSM News. I'm your host Malak Ahmad Fayaz. Now for the news in detail. President Dr. Mohammad Moiso appoints Justice retired Abbas Sharif as the Prosecutor General. The letter of appointment was presented to the new Prosecutor General at the ceremony held at the President's office. The Chief Justice of the Maldives, Ahmad Muttasim Adnan, administered the oath of office. The appointment was made in accordance with Article 221 of the Constitution and Article 3 of the Prosecutor General's Act. He was appointed following the parliamentary approval given for his nomination with a unanimous vote of 85 parliamentarians. Abbas Sharif has an experience of over 23 years in the field of law. He served as the Secretary to the President on Legal Affairs and Parliamentary Affairs at the President's office from 1995 to 1996 before traveling abroad for higher studies. He earned a diploma in the field of law in Malaysia and received his Bachelor of Law LLB from the University of Tasmania. After he sought higher education, Abbas started his career in 2000 as the Assistant Legal Officer of the President's office. 8 years afterward, he contributed significant efforts to the then Attorney General to prepare the Constitution. Prior to his resignation from the legal counsel position of the President's office in 2008, he served as a member and Vice President of the Judicial Service Commission, JSC. In 2011, Abbas was appointed to the bench of the High Court and worked in collaboration with significant law firms. During the period in which he served as the Justice of the High Court, he investigated cases related to former presidents and parliamentarians. He was retired from this position in 2015 due to health issues. Regarding of his retirement, Abbas has made remarkable contributions within the field. The government affirms that individuals in independent institutions will have the full authority to perform their duties with autonomy and professionalism. The affirmation was made by spokesperson for the President's office, Hina Walid, during a press conference. The government has announced the appointment of Justice retired Abbas Sharif as the new Prosecutor General of the Prosecutor General's Office, PGO. The PGO is tasked with upholding the rule of law and delivering a fair, impartial, consistent, and accountable service in representing the state within the criminal justice system. Speaking at the press conference, spokesperson Hina emphasized that Abbas Sharif, who has previously represented political members of parliament in independent institutions like the Judicial Service Commission JSC, will carry out his responsibilities as Prosecutor General independently. She highlighted Abbas's extensive experience in the legal field and reassured that there has been no political interference from President Dr. Mohammad Moiso or the government in his appointment. Additionally, Hina noted that Abbas, a former High Court judge with a law degree, brings over 23 years of experience in the legal profession to his new role. She guaranteed that he will have the opportunity to perform his duties with the utmost professionalism. Minister of State for Homeland Security and Technology, Dr. Mohammad Kinanath, reveals plans to enhance the National Center for Information Technology, NCIT, and the Digital Identity Card, EFAS, with the assistance of the World Bank. He made the statement during a press conference held to provide information on the Digital Maldives Adaptation, Decentralization and Diversification project carried out with the World Bank's support. Addressing the media, State Minister Dr. Kinanath stated that the World Bank has provided $10 million as financial support for the project. The funds will be utilized to cover expenses for 4 administrative bodies. He stated that the funds allocated for NCIT will be carefully utilized to enhance the center and further develop EFAS. The funds will be allocated for various purposes. As such, $0.5 million has been allocated to cover the administrative costs of the project, $3 million for the Ministry of Climate Change, Environment and Energy and $2.6 million for the NCIT, $3 million for the Department of National Registrations and $0.9 million for the Communications Authority of the Maldives. Former Minister of Health Dr. Aminat Jamil launches Mahara portal to report health service concerns. The portal was launched at a special ceremony held to commemorate the World Patient Safety Day. The portal can be utilized by individuals to report complaints and concerns pertaining to the challenges they face when seeking health services. The Ministry of Health emphasized that this initiative will play a pivotal role in maintaining the trust of the public and improving the provision of services. The portal was created with the assistance provided by the World Health Organization (WHO). Speaking at the ceremony, Minister of Health Dr. Abdullah Khalil stated that this initiative will serve as a golden opportunity for health service providers to provide and patients to receive quality services. The minister stated that the treatment and safety of patients must be the top priority when providing healthcare services. According to statistics released by WHO, 16% of patients have been protected from worsening of situations due to proper identification of the patient situation. Furthermore, the minister called on the private healthcare service providers to enhance and expedite the treatment systems. He said that this move will not only help to treat the patient faster but also reduce expenditure. Minister of Economic Development and Trade Mohammad Saeed inaugurates the Creative Economy Fund. The fund was launched by the minister at a special ceremony held at Tarubaruge. The fund, launched under the President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu's policy of developing a creative economy, aims to provide financial assistance to innovative and skilled individuals. As such, Business Center Corporation (BCC), leading the fund, announced that financial assistance ranging from $3,242 to $19,455 to all individuals requesting for support. The funds will be provided to individuals working in 4 primary fields: film production, music production, the field of arts and crafts, and digital content creation. BCC said that the opportunity to request for assistance will be open from October 10th onwards. BCC expressed confidence that the loan provided to individuals will assist them to overcome the challenges faced in the industries. It noted that the repayment of loans can be done conveniently as well. Furthermore, BCC stated that it will target freelancers and small and medium enterprises (SMEs) when financing projects. In addition to the Creative Economy Fund, Minister Said also officiated the roadmap which details the works of the creative economy for the next 5 years. The government disclosed that the roadmap was drafted such that it includes 78 pledges outlined in the President's manifesto. The roadmap will focus on increasing the utilization of technological equipment, enhancing the legislations to protect the rights of businesses and their products while seeking trade opportunities within the nation and with foreign countries. Minister of Economic Development and Trade Mohammad Saeed emphasizes that there are no barriers to youth development. He made the remarks during the launch of the Creative Economy Fund and a new 5-year strategy. Speaking at the event, Minister Saeed highlighted the country's synchronized economy, noting that fostering a creative economy is a key priority of President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu's administration. He stressed the government's commitment to building a skilled economy in the Maldives. He also noted that the recent Trade and Investment Framework Agreement with the United States-US included discussions on enabling cross-border transactions between the two nations. Additionally, Minister Saeed revealed that the government is collaborating with the platforms like YouTube, Google, and PayPal to facilitate financial transactions through these services. He noted that this is something many young Maldivians involved in online businesses have been eagerly awaiting. He also shared that a ministry survey found over 400 artisans actively creating and selling products online. Furthermore, Minister Said said that there are no size restrictions for e-commerce platforms in the Maldivian market and the government will support their growth. He encouraged citizens to seize these emerging opportunities, noting that while the number of opportunities for youth may seem limited, the potential for expansion is significant. The government expects that this cross-border transactions through PayPal will soon be available as part of its efforts to establish a creative economy in Maldives. It also aims to grow the country's digital economy by opening doors for Maldivian businesses in major global markets. Managing Director of Business Centre Corporation BCC, Ibrahim Ziao, states that the Creative Economic Action Plan will be a promising action plan, bringing hope to the youth. The Creative Economic Action Plan and the Creative Economy Fund were inaugurated by the Minister of Economic Development and Trade Mohammad Saeed at a special ceremony held in Darbarge. Following the launch of the action plan, the government stated that efforts will be exerted to identify the objectives related to the development of a creative economy and ensure its implementation. The government further disclosed that the action plan was drafted such that it includes the 78 pledges outlined in the President's manifesto. Speaking at the ceremony, Managing Director Ziao expressed gratitude to parties which provided support in drafting the action plan, especially the ministries representing the national creative economy and members of the national creative economy. He noted that the action plan will be a promising action plan for those involved within the field, bringing hope to the youth. The Creative Economy Fund, launched under President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu's policy of developing a creative economy, aims to provide financial assistance to innovative and skilled individuals. As such, PCC lead in the fund announced that a financial assistance ranging from $3,242 to $19,455 to all individuals requesting for support. Minister of Islamic Affairs Dr. Muhammad Shahim Ali Said announces that the National Islamic Library will be established in January next year. He made the statement during a media briefing on the ministry's activities. Speaking to the media, Minister Shahim noted that the former library at the Islamic Center in Male City had been closed and its books stored away last year. As such, he said that the plans to rectify this by establishing a new National Islamic Library at the King Salman Mosque. Additionally, Minister Shahim said that the new facility will be designed with modern amenities to facilitate research, and the ministry aims to have it operational before January. He said that the libraries will be set up in various Islamic centers, including those in Thinadu in Gafdal Atoll, Ungufar in Ra Atoll, Diddu in Halif Atoll, Hitadu in Addu City, and Formula City. He also said that the goal is to complete these libraries by the end of next year. Furthermore, Minister Shahim emphasized the government's efforts to enhance Islamic affairs in the Maldives. He referenced President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu's vision for intellectual rather than material development as outlined in his manifesto. He also outlined the ministry's commitment to the President's vision. Moreover, Minister Shahim discussed the Imam training project initiated in response to a noticeable shortage of Imams across various islands. To address this, he said that the government has implemented a special curriculum training 402 Imams so far. The Ministry of Climate Change, Environment and Energy announces that Singapore-based company Chi Energy Private Limited submitted a proposal to establish a liquefied natural gas LNG-based power generation network in the Maldives. The Environment Ministry said that Chi Energy presented the proposal during a meeting with Minister of Climate Change, Environment and Energy Tariq Ibrahim along with other ministry officials. The proposal outlines the development of a power generation network using modular LNG technology in the Maldives. The ministry also highlighted that this system would significantly enhance the country's energy sector while promoting environmentally friendly electricity generation. LNG is a natural resource extracted from underground and is widely used in electricity generation across many countries. The method is considered more environmentally friendly compared to burning fuel. The government aims to reduce reliance on fuel-based electricity generation and shift towards renewable energy sources. President Dr. Mohammad Moizu has committed to transition in 33% of the country's energy to renewable sources by the end of this term.
PSM ಗೆ TV ಚಾನೆಲ್ ತಕ ರೇಡಿಯೋ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ತ ಮಿಹಾರು PSM Air application ತಿಯ ಬೇಫ್ರುನ್ನ ಹಿಲೆ ಬಲಾಲೆವೇನೆ ಅದಿ ಅಡುವ ಹಾಲೆವೇನೆ ದುನಿಯೆಗೆ ಕೊಮ್ಮೆ ತಾಗುಹುರೆಗೆ ಕೊಮ್ಮೆ ಗಡಿಯ PSM ಗೆ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ತ ಬಲಾಲುಮ ಅವಹ PSM Air app ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಕುರವ್ವ ಮಿಹಾರು app store ಉನ್ನ Google Play Store ಇಂವೆಸ್ ಮಿ app ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಕೊಲ್ಲವೇನೆ
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدًا الوسيلة والفضيلة والدرجة الرفيعة وبعثه مقامًا محمودًا الذي وعدته وارزقنا شفاعته برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
حقوقنا ليست للبيع.
And the resumption of commercial activity.
hafta nimigen dairo duniyega mashrahuga eta kamen gagande
tadata halakura mis eki faharu eki gotak kitan adutan nerito
duniyega februaruga bodeti eta nimuntake nimma
lubnan ka border agatuga yahudin gan ko fawa tafat ki abadita kum mihu huskuran jey fawani
tahuziba mungana duniyega mi maulumata ingu muhimu ಹಫ್ತಾಗೆ ದುನಿಯೆ ಹೊಣಿಹಿರು ದುವಹುಗೆರೆ 22 ಕಡಿ ಸುಮ್ಮಿನೆಟುಗ PSMNEWS
Sri Lanka's economic collapse was partly blamed on struggling high-debt Chinese mega projects, but candidates in the presidential election are banking on at least one of them to buck the trend.
The strategically located Indian Ocean country suffered its worst financial meltdown in 2022 when it ran out of dollars to import essentials, sparking street protests that toppled the then President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. When the island nation plunged into chaos, CIA chief Bill Burns blamed its economic collapse on what he called dumb bets on Chinese-funded projects. These included an international airport without flights, a seaport without ships, an empty convention center, and a $113 million, 350-meter communication tower shunned by broadcasters. Colombo has since secured a $2.9 billion IMF bailout loan, but whoever is elected will face huge loans and interest accumulated since Sri Lanka defaulted on its $46 billion external debt. Past projects dubbed white elephants by critics were built with generous loans from China's infrastructure development program known as Belt and Road Initiative (BRI), which Western nations criticize as a debt trap for developing countries. In December 2017, unable to repay a huge Chinese loan, Sri Lanka handed its Hambantota port in the south of the island to a Beijing company on a 99-year lease for $1.12 billion. The port city development began in 2014 when the China Harbour Engineering Company CHEC invested $1.4 billion to reclaim 269 hectares of land next to Colombo Harbour. It bills itself as a gateway to South Asia, a special economic zone with tax breaks of up to 40 years. For now, it remains largely empty. However, the chief operating officer of the Port City Economic Commission, the state regulator of the zone, said that the authorities expect to attract $12 to $15 billion in foreign direct investment to construct buildings and set up hotels, housing, and a marina. CHEC's Port City plan says it offers a world-class global hub for businesses, promising a high-freedom, low-risk financial environment.
Speaking ahead of a General Assembly vote on a draft resolution on the advisory opinion of the International Court of Justice (ICJ) on the legal consequences of Israel's policies and practices in the occupied Palestinian territory (OPT), Palestinian Ambassador Riyad Mansour says that the court had fulfilled its mandate, while Israeli Ambassador Danny Danon said that the resolution perfectly represents the priorities of the Palestinian Authority.
In his address to the 10th emergency session of the General Assembly, Mansour said that if they need to identify two cardinal rules, two pillars upon which the international law-based order was built, there would be the right of people to self-determination and the prohibition of the acquisition of territory by force. He stated that these are the rules that Israel has been breaching openly and brazenly for decades without any consequences.
If we need to identify two cardinal rules, two pillars on which the international law-based order was built, there would be the right of peoples to self-determination and the prohibition of the acquisition of territory by force. And these are the rules that Israel has been breaching openly and brazenly for decades without consequences. The court fulfilled its mandate by unequivocally identifying the legal consequences for Israel.
Denon said he had expected a resolution of the General Assembly that would declare a unanimous, unequivocal condemnation of terror, the rape, the torture, the kidnappings that took place on the darkest of days. Yet he said that there has been no condemnation, no resolutions. Denon said that the draft resolution slanders Israel, ignores its right to defend its people, and seeks to isolate it, adding that the Palestinian Authority, PA, has teamed up with the radicals in the region, posing a grave threat, not just to do it well, but to the entire Middle East. For her part, United States Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield expressed her opposition to the draft resolution. She said that the adoption of a one-sided resolution that selectively interprets the substance of the ICJ opinion does not advance what they all want to see, and that is progress towards two states living in peace side by side. This proposed resolution advances the flawed and indeed false idea that adopting a text here in New York can somehow resolve what is easily one of the most complex and persistent diplomatic challenges of the time.
Bayern Munich striker Harry Kane scores 4 goals to lead his side to a 9-2 demolition of visitors Dinamo Zagreb, and a record for the most goals by one team in a Champions League match, along with the second biggest winning margin.
Kane scored 4 goals to lead his side to a 9-2 demolition of visitors Dinamo Zagreb on Tuesday, and a record for the most goals by one team in a Champions League match, along with the second biggest winning margin. Bayern struck 3 times in the first half, with Kane converting a 19th-minute penalty before becoming the highest-scoring English player in European Cup history with 33 goals. With Zagreb completely boxed in, Rafael Guerreiro, who had earlier put the ball in the net only to be ruled offside, drilled home from a superb Jamal Musiala assist in the 33rd minute, and Mikel Olise added another 5 minutes later. The Croats bounced back by making the most of some sloppy defending, with goals from Bruno Petkovic in the 49th and Takuya Ogiwara a minute later to give themselves some hope. It was, however, short-lived, with Bayern, who hoped to reach this season's final to be played in Munich, upping the tempo instantly and scoring 2 more of their own in a 4-minute span through Kane and Olise to restore order. In coach Vincent Kompany's Champions League debut at the helm, England captain Kane bagged his 3rd and 4th goals with penalties in the 73rd and 78th to become the first player to score a hat-trick of penalties in a Champions League match. Substitutes Leroy Sane and Leon Goretzka also got on the score sheet with late goals as Bayern opened their Champions League campaign in devastating fashion.
Colin Farrell resists rewatching iconic mob drama The Sopranos while preparing for his turn as a gangster boss in The Penguin, the Irish star of the new Batman Universe series.
The Penguin chronicles the gritty rise of a low-level player in the criminal underworld against a backdrop of societal dysfunction in grimy Gotham City, with New York City used for filming. Farrell's anti-hero character Osgob, who is dubbed the Penguin for his unsteady walk from a mishandled case of clubfoot, has drawn media comparisons to the larger-than-life mob boss Tony Soprano, played by James Gandolfini. Farrell, who spent hours a day being transformed into a grizzled, chunky villain, said he had drawn on anything he ever read or seen about the world for inspiration. He said that he didn't need references because the script was just a fantastic writing. He added that all those films that he saw in the past are part of his Rolodex of what he now owns as his imagination. The Penguin is the latest of several productions set in Batman universe, but without the presence of the eponymous hero. The 8-episode DC Studios series follows Matt Reeves' film, The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson as the Caped Crusader. The Penguin airs on HBO and streams on Max from Thursday.
That's all the news we have for today. Thank you all for watching.